You just bounce off him.
I'm ready just about the Duke, the Final Four, everything. As I look forward to it so much, and it just not the Duke loss, man. It's just in general, it's just so bad.
So it's a house rules Wednesday, April 3rd. Only 3 of us in the house. We got one out in the woods in California sleeping somewhere. Yeah. We're going to go over the Final Four, MLB Week 1, MLB playoffs, NHL playoffs coming up, and where's the worst place you've ever slept?
Because Yanni's sleeping there right now.
If people are listening or watching live on YouTube, remember to download Anchor.fm tomorrow and listen to the show when we edit it. It's a completely different show when we edit it tomorrow, so going into that. Final Four, Scott, we can lead off with Duke and Kentucky, one and done, out.
Well, I think it's good that there's no the only chalk is the most boring number 1 seed probably ever to be in a Final Four, which is Virginia.
I agree with that.
Which is also a good thing because last year, I mean, they got eliminated by a 16th seed. Now they're in the Final Four on their way, hopefully, for a national championship for them. But, I mean, if you look at it, all general, it's, Virginia, there's not much,
No, they were probably the weakest out of the 1 seeds, I would think.
I wanted Purdue. That kid Edwards.
They had the game.
He had the game. They did.
Who was the kid, the white kid that pushed off on Edwards? You know what I'm talking about?
I know
at the end of the game,
and
they didn't call a foul on it, and that kind of turned around the game right at the end because they had that game.
They did,
and they coached it right too.
They did. They played it right, and then just the things broke wrong for them at the end. Now,
all right,
that was tough.
So let's get into this. So you have Duke, Kentucky, Kentucky's number 2 seed, Duke's number 1 seed. Duke has the most high-profile player probably in the past 20 years. Kentucky has Calipari, the glam, the everything. Ashley Judd in the stands. And they both get eliminated. And both coaches, I will say right now, do not give a shit if they ever win a national championship. They're not about national championships. All they're about is about the draft. All they're about is making sure that Kentucky can say, hey, we had 10 guys in the lottery go. Look at us.
Well, give him fucked up because Cade.
He got a lifetime deal for that, pretty much. He's won one national title.
How don't you give the ball to Zion? That's the number 1 player. He's going to be the best player in the NBA. He's going to go number 1.
Oh, yeah, no question.
How does he not have
Coach
the ball
K doesn't
then?
coach. I've been saying that from the beginning of the year. He has not coached one bit.
Scott's right about that.
He hasn't, Joe. He hasn't coached since 2010.
You said that earlier this year, so I was kind of watching and kind of paying attention to a lot of the Duke games, and you're right. He looks like he kind of mailed it in this year, and just like, I got these young guys, and he just kind of lets them go.
It's a shame. It really is that Zion Williamson's last play was him chasing after a point guard. That's how he'll be remembered.
Did I call it? I called it.
What?
I said too many times. They had too many escape games.
No, it has nothing to do with the escape games. Joe.
They barely got away on the Friday.
They did
and then they barely got away against UCF.
Yes, because of coaching.
Two games where the ball was rolling around the rim where it could have been either overtime or
you're missing my point. What I said to both of you is that Calipari and Coach K don't care about winning national championships. It has nothing to do with that. If you look at Izzo's drawing up plays to get their best guy open for a 3 or to dunk down or whatever. Coach K, I watched every single game Duke played this year. It was the same. I mean, they lost to Syracuse at home. Kentucky was a much better team than why can't I think Auburn. They were dominating. They were up by 10, and then we watched the lead window and stuff. Both coaches are there for one thing, is to get those guys to the NBA. And it just shows how bad one and done is for basketball.
Yeah, but Auburn's a good coach team, too.
Yes, good
Bruce Pearl's a good coach.
What are you saying?
No,
good
I
coach,
agree, yeah.
Coach. We put Calipari and put Coach K as great coaches, all right? Coach K had his run where he made it to 4 Final Fours, made it to 3 straight national championships and won 2. That was it. Calipari's had all his and I'm not saying that
we've always known that Izzo's a good coach.
Yeah, we do know that, but I'm saying right now when you have the best players, that's what they're known for. Kentucky getting the best NBA prospects to come there. Duke getting the best NBA prospects to come there. You're telling me that you can't coach these kids up when you coach Team USA and Calipari's a known guy that's coached. He loves to say, I have John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Derrick Rose, that you can't get these kids to play?
Well, the biggest difference is you said Izzo, and then you're talking about these guys. The guys on Kentucky and on Duke are all freshmen. They're their best players.
Yeah.
And then they recycle him with other freshmen.
Yeah.
And then another group of freshmen. Michigan State gets their guys to stay there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, obviously, when it comes to tournament time, they're more prepared because they got some seniors and some juniors that play big roles on their teams. Whereas Kentucky and Duke, they're all kids, man. They're all kids. It's hard to get a bunch of kids to come together and buy in and win a national championship, no matter how good they are.
And you're saying that right now.
You know?
You're saying it's tough for them to do that. So why do they do it?
Well, because they're getting the best players.
They're getting the best players. So do they really care about winning a national championship?
Well, Calipari, I agree. He's openly said it. My job is to get
them to the next
get
level.
these kids ready for the next
And what's
level.
Coach K's job now?
He's following suit now.
I think he's just a
He's
figurehead.
He is.
He just stands there. He lets shy. Look at the coaches now. He has Nolan Smith from his last national championship in 2010, not 14
He
or
seems
15.
he seems
Content.
more content now than he was before.
Shire he has there and stuff. Duke used to be. Why did you hate?
He sold out
Why did you hate Duke?
because of the preppy boys that used to go there.
Preppy
and-
boys. All right. Let's
Right.
name these preppy boys, and I'm going to get kicked off air and stuff. All right.
For what?
All right. You
For
had
what?
Christian Leitner,
Right.
right? J.J. Redick.
Yeah, a lot of people hate
We
these
had
guys.
you had
Grayson
Grayson
Allen.
Allen.
Right.
Shire.
Shire.
Grant Hill.
Greg Paulus. Everybody hated Greg Paulus. Greg Paulus was one of the most
No,
hated.
not him. Who was
What are
the
you
guy?
trying to say? You're going to
Cherokee-
kick off there for white,
Cherokee.
white.
No, he
Cherokee
said the
Parks.
preppy white
Remember
kids,
him?
preppy white kids that Duke were succeeding with. Duke was one of the more popular teams. Duke was not hated
Yeah,
this
but
year.
it's not like you're making a good point, but at the
Because
same time, you're right.
they've sold
you
out.
you can
Yes.
coach.
They
You can
sold out.
coach
Look.
kids that are that know that they're gonna stay there for 4 years.
Right.
These kids that they're bringing in Zion, what the hell you got to coach
Look.
here? He knows he's good. He knows he's going to be the number one pick. What is he looks at Kay and he's like, "Thank you for getting me on Duke, for getting the spotlight,
The
and
ESPN.
now I'm going to get
Giving
drafted number one."
Giving
He
him
doesn't look at
confidence.
him and
I'm sure he's helped
it's
them
not-
out somewhat.
it's not like he needs
But-
him to be his coach really though, right?
Look, Coach K sold out, man. There's no other way to put it.
That's all I wanted to hear.
He used to go from, you have the kids that stay there for 4 years. He'd get some of the real big-time
Yes.
players, but it'd be like one or two, and they'd have to be good student athletes and all
Yep.
that stuff to get in there.
You were known as a student.
Now he's
athlete
doing
there.
what Cal. Cal's been getting the number one recruiting class
Since
he's been at Kentucky. He's
Yeah.
he's getting all of them, and these other coaches they might say like they all hate on Cal because he keeps getting all these kids and all of a sudden even the playing field out. Coach K sold out a little
Dude,
bit.
it's heartbreaking to me because I remember when I became a Duke fan, my dad was watching them. They were playing against Virginia, and Duke was known. They always did the huddle, and they were always known for slapping the floor, playing defense and stuff. And Coach K getting on them and stuff. And now watching them, even 2015, I love that team. It was still that transition from the 2010 national championship team to 2015 where I'm watching it, I'm like,
These kids aren't going to be here next year.
no, yeah, and this is not what he wanted. When the one and done came into place, Coach K was one of the first coaches to say, "We're here for the kids to get an education and to represent the university." And then somehow this little switch happened, which I blame Team USA. He was like, "I see the writing on the wall. I see where this is going." But for the Duke University, for the Kentucky University, for any of those universities, national championships is what is remembered by, not by players that go to the draft. And it's not just Coach K and Calipari and stuff. It's the whole.
Is that true though? Is that true just for national championships? I don't know, man.
What do you remember?
I remember. Do you remember the Michigan Fab Five? I remember them.
I remember it. Yes, I do because
I remember those years more than any other years, and they never won a national championship. I'm just saying, it's not necessarily.
Do you
about-
remember the Yankees of 2003
Yeah, of course they do.
as much as the Yankees of 1999? Not as much because they won in 1999. That's my point. I'm saying I remember the teams that win
Right.
compared to the teams that lose. It's like one of those things that you put in the back of your burner and you're like, they didn't make it. They weren't as good.
Yeah. I mean, this tournament's different, man. I mean, it's single elimination. So
Yes.
a lot of times the team that wins this tournament is not the best team in the country. It happens all the time. It's not always the best team in the country. It's the team that gets hot. UConn's done it a few times. They weren't even close to being the best team.
Texas Tech is hot.
Yeah, Texas Tech's hot.
Auburn's hot.
Auburn's hot right now. Either one of them can win this thing.
Yeah.
And nobody was saying earlier Auburn and Texas Tech. Who's talking about them? It's
That's
a
what I
tournament,
want.
man. It's a one and done tournament. You lose a game, you're gone. Happens all the time.
Charles Barkley's making $1 million. He's making a fortune.
Charles
right now.
Barkley's digging out of debt. I wouldn't say he's
for the
making
first
$1
time,
million.
he's very happy.
He's chasing and he's cutting some,
Yes,
he's cutting
yeah.
the fat off
Yeah.
finally. I
It's
don't know about
awesome.
making millions.
No, I'm happy for him because
Yeah.
he had Auburn money line. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're
killing
they're
it.
playing probably as
Good coach.
They're yes,
he is. He coached
Rose-
at
He
Tennessee.
sweats a lot,
he's
but he's a good coach.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a good resume.
He's
and
And
passionate.
so is Texas Tech's coach, Matt
Yes.
Matt
Yeah.
Wells.
Yeah.
He's been good.
Yep.
That's what I was upset about. Like you said, Virginia's boring.
Yeah, they play defense.
And-
they slow
and-
the game down.
And
know
in the
that.
Purdue game, like you said, it was the big freshman.
That was
because
actually a
at the
great
end of the
game.
game. He made a
That
stop,
was a great game.
they got up and down.
and he
in that
was
game.
slamming his fist, slamming his hands on the floor.
Yeah.
I
And
love
I'm like,
that.
and then you had the kid Edwards who just went off and had 42 points.
Yeah, he
couldn't
had-
stop him
yeah,
from the
beat
3-point line.
Right.
He's like Steph
It was
Curry.
it was something that I wish they went through because they were like a explosive team. Would have been way more interesting to see
You
them.
would have had a name. Like you
Yeah.
would have had the kid in there, and
Edwards.
then Texas Tech's probably got the best player that's still in the tournament, Jared Culver.
Yeah.
he's
he's an
going to
NBA
be a
guy.
fucking
Yeah.
star. That kid can do everything. But I mean, so you got star power there, and then, but I mean, look, Michigan State's in there. Michigan State's always good. They're going to
Hey,
give you a good run.
He's the coaches, man.
Yep, you got Izzo, and they got the point guard. And we always say you bet on the point guard if it's a big game.
Point
Whoever's
guard
got the
in
better
the
point
tournament.
guard.
In the tournament,
In the
point
tournament,
guard's
the point
huge.
guards can win it for you. You know what I mean?
Michigan State's got the best there. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got the best point guard. So let's see. Auburn's point guard's been playing well. I don't pick his
They're
name.
quick.
They're fast. They get up and down. I think they're entertaining games. It's not the
Oh
name.
yeah,
No,
no,
I
it's,
love
and I
the
like
Final
the fact
Four.
that it's different too.
I'm just a bitter.
You're a
I'm
bitter
so
Duke
fucking
fan.
bitter. Dude,
You're mad.
Zion Williamson is the best thing. I would trade everybody
You know
on
what
the
pissed
Celtics
me off
for
about
him.
Duke? And
Everything.
We've talked about it a million times watching the game. R.J. Barrett drives me insane.
Insane. Oh my God. Why did I? And
Because it literally like
Call me out on
Zion,
this.
Zion would get like a basket. No one could guard him one-on-one.
No.
So when he had a one-on-one matchup, just give him the ball
Ball.
because no one can guard him.
It's easy.
And he would get 2 baskets in a row. Like he'd shake somebody, get right to
Yeah.
the rim. The next time down, they give it to him, he get another basket. And for some reason, the next time down, Barrett's like, "It's my turn." No, it's not your
Not your
turn.
turn.
man.
He's a me guy.
It's like it's not your turn. You're gonna drive to the basket. There's gonna be 3 guys that collapse on you, and you're gonna throw up a wild shot that doesn't even hit the rim. The kid he drove me nuts.
Duke-
He hurt you guys more.
Harry called it. He called it at the beginning of the year because I said, I was like, you know what? I really like this R.J. Barrett because I wasn't going to believe
I'm not
all
s-
the hype on Williamson. And I even said that. I was like, Barrett's the more polished player, played in Canada.
I don't even
He
think
has-
it's close.
He has Nash coaching him up. That's his
He
godfather.
thinks
and
he's
stuff.
better than he
Oh,
is.
my God. He's
You-
horrible.
You
He
make a
thinks
good
he's
point.
better than he is.
You make a good point, but going back, like you're saying with your Duke teams and everything over the years, if they went in this season and all they did was recruit with Zion and then built around him, they would have moved on. I think they're like you're saying
Trey
bringing
Jones
in
was-
they're bringing in too many of these guys that are going to be top picks, and look what's happening with Barrett. It's he wants to show off. The Reddish wants to show off. If they just had Zion and K built a team around
they
him,
would have been
I
perfect.
think they would have moved on from here.
Here's my other problem with the one.
Barrett
and done.
killed him.
And-
Yeah.
He killed him all year.
And people think that I'm sick because I said it after the game. There's something about it playing sports as a kid or watching kids play in college. When their season is over, you see the meltdown. You see them crying. You see them
Yeah.
the heartbreak.
Oh,
and
you
stuff.
saw that with Duke.
With Trey Jones, you saw it and
Yeah.
stuff. With the one and done, you see the kids are. You know what? It's over with. I'm going to get paid. And that's the truth.
no, the
That's the
kids-
truth. But I really do.
the
I
Auburn-
do miss the bondship. I miss that. Hey, I was here for 4 years, 3 years, or whatever. I miss that.
Listen, man.
I was watching the
It's-
UNC. Oh, sorry. I was watching the UNC Auburn game with Don, and we were watching at the end, and you could see the bunch of the UNC guys were standing up. They're down by fucking what, 20?
Yeah.
And they're standing up with a minute left,
'Cause
and
they know
there's that
it's
one
over.
guy that's like, no, he's like, yeah, and I'm like, what's he rooting for? He's like,
For the
well,
last game.
if we hit that 2, all right, so now we're only down by 18. Now we got to hit but there a couple of them are crying, and then there's that one kid that's like, maybe we could still. No, it's over with.
Yeah. And they know it's their last game together a lot of times.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I just that's one of the best parts of the tournament. I think is I remember.
Well, listen, Scott, you're going to get the way things seem to be going. The one and done's going to be gone soon.
It is.
And
Thank
I think
God.
it's time. If you're a guy like Zion or these guys that are can't fucking miss guys, they should be allowed to go to the NBA.
Yes.
They should.
Yeah.
And then the other guys, you will get that team and the guys that stay for at least 2 years, maybe 3, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You'll start to get that again, and I think it'll make college basketball better.
Well,
As a team
now
sport,
that Duke's out, though, I mean, we're going into the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
You got those 4 teams. We can just. I said to him the other night. He texted me. I was like, the only thing we can look forward to about Duke is to see where Zion goes. And
Right.
hopefully he goes to the Knicks for you. I know that you don't think it's going to happen.
It's all on those ping pong balls.
I
my
hope
friend.
he goes to the Knicks. I
He's
hope
the
that
best-
works out.
Best player I've seen.
There's an
in 20 years.
86% chance he doesn't
and
go there.
as
That's-
much-
that's all I know. That's all I know.
And if he does, the best thing I think you guys could do, speaking of March Madness, instead of going after Kyrie, go after Kemba. If they could bring him back into the Garden,
He's a free agent.
that would be unbelievable, I think.
Well, free agency is going to be nuts this year. That's for down the road.
Yeah.
Everyone's a free agent this year. The league's going to be completely different next year. And then you got these kids coming in on top of that. Where
Yeah.
does Zion go? Zion changes the trajectory of teams. I
Of
mean,
the whole
he's
NBA.
a
The whole
generational
NBA.
player. The team that gets him, automatically they're probably bad
playoffs.
because they're in the
They're in the
lottery.
playoffs.
Right.
It's like when Shaq went to Orlando.
It's kind of like that. Like the team that gets Zion, automatically they're going to sell. They're going to sell out their arenas. Like you already know that. Like a team like Atlanta or
He'll have
something
the
like
top
that.
sneaker deal.
He's going to make the most money off. Yeah, he's going to have the
Number
biggest
one
sneaker
jersey.
deal you ever heard
You
of.
said this before.
He'll have
anybody.
the number one selling jersey in the NBA next year. Book it. Especially if he ends up in New York. Forget it.
He
It won't
has
even
to.
be close because there's so many fans.
The 2 teams that I know you want him in New York. The 2 teams that we hope that he would go to help the NBA would be either New York or Chicago.
Yeah, I think he'd be great.
Yeah.
Big markets would be great.
We don't want to see him go to Phoenix.
No, I mean, what do
The fuck's that going to do for the NBA?
Seriously, yeah. You want him in the big markets. If they could ever rig one, do it
This would
year,
be the
man.
time,
This would
yeah.
be
He's
the
a
year to
great
do it.
kid too, man. You listen to
He
him.
is,
He
man.
really is, and
He plays hard, too. That's
Yeah,
what I love about him.
That's
he
the
plays
crazy part.
hard.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to.
RJ Barrett, very sloppy. Cam Reddish, I'm done. Fuck him. He's going to be trash. He does not give a flying fuck about playing basketball.
Is it because of Duke or is it the talent? I don't know. He had
The talent, everything. He had so much talent. He was better than RJ Barrett in high school.
No, I know. He didn't fit. That group just didn't.
fit. You know what?
Yeah,
he
like I
fit?
said, they didn't fit.
They didn't fit together.
He fit at Murray State probably, or like a small, or Indiana State. Put him in a small fucking school in Hickory. He'd been good there.
Speaking of Murray State, that John Morant. I mean, I know he played for a little bit, but
Yeah,
geez,
he's unbelievable.
That
Yeah.
kid's going to be something. That kid's
So
gonna be something.
with
Who-
the
who-
Final
who you
Four,
picking?
I like Auburn. I want Texas Tech Auburn.
I actually have the exact same thing.
That's who
I'm
I would like.
taking
Who
Auburn.
do you think?
That's who I think.
That's who I think.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, even though it's tough with Izzo,
So I'm going to go with gambling because I've totally pretty much lost my mortgage this whole fucking tournament. It's been a disaster.
What do we got for lines on that?
Disaster. Yeah, let's pull this up right now.
I think it's both dogs. I think they're both underdogs.
I'm gonna bet.
I
bet
guess
the dogs.
Auburn's
I
4.
bet. Guess what? Here's
And
another
Texas
funny.
Tech's probably 4.
Virginia's 5.5
Yeah.
and Michigan State's 2.5.
All right, there you go. Take the 2 dogs. Take the points.
I would take the points, and I'm going to lose.
I
doesn't matter.
who wants it? Come on.
I bet
Honestly,
Duke every game in the tournament. They didn't cover one fucking spread.
if you have to, the Michigan
do you
State,
like?
Michigan State, Texas Tech, whoever wins that game going into the championship game is good. If Virginia
gonna win
wins, if Virginia gets into to the championship, it's like
Well,
I'm
let's
not,
not
let's just
forget-
watch
I'm not
fucking
betting against
paint-
Virginia.
paint
but
dry.
Virginia was number 1 in the country for a
Country
while this year.
They're the
They're
best
still-
team.
Let's not
boring.
pretend. No, they are.
They
Let's
are.
not pretend they're not good. I mean, they're good.
I'm picking Virginia to win it all.
They've had the most unders, and
So you got Virginia winning the whole thing.
It just.
I got Auburn.
think about storyline.
Hold on.
I always do storyline.
I think I want Texas Tech.
I think Auburn's going to win it, man. I don't know.
I would love to see Auburn win it and see
I think
Fat
they're gonna
Charles
win it.
go. Sir
Yeah.
Charles.
I have a feeling
Sir
they're going to win
Charles.
it.
Sir Charles, man, his golf swing might be straight after this.
He might have a heart attack on the air. If they
Oh,
win
been
it.
unbelievable.
Or if it's a close game in
He'll
the
have
championship
so
game,
much money.
you got to keep an eye on Charles.
No, but he's been hot on his picks, man. If I actually gambled
He's the best,
with him,
man.
he's been unbelievable. Unbelievable. His picks, like he called the Virginia comeback. He's like, I just don't see them staying with him. They have
Do you
this.
guys like the pregame teams with Barkley and having the
I've always
TNT
liked
guys?
that.
They're good, right?
Barkley's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, the TNT guys in college are
They do a good
excellent.
job.
They're
They do.
excellent.
Yeah.
I
I
can't-
enjoy watching
there's-
them, too.
I can't say one bad thing about them. Actually,
No, they do. It was good. It's been look. I thought the beginning of the tournament, just to maybe wrap it up, started off slow. We always talk about that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday being like and it's great because there's games on, but the games weren't that good until the second weekend.
Yeah.
Then the games were good. We had some games, man.
Yep.
Overtime, games coming down to the end. It felt like
That Purdue,
last week,
that Purdue,
all the games came
Virginia
right down
game
in
was
the end. Yeah,
unbelievable.
minus the Carolina blowout. The other 4 or 5 games were all close at the end.
Who expected that? Nobody expected
know.
Auburn to. I mean,
listen, man, you
Dude,
ride
they
the
get hot,
team.
man.
They're the hottest team in the tournament right now.
Yeah.
They're the hottest team. Can they bring it?
They've
can
run
they do
through
it
a
2
lot of
more
good
times?
They
teams.
give Virginia that's the worst nightmare Virginia could ask for is a team that likes to push it,
And
like
shoot threes.
shoot threes.
Yeah,
because they almost lost to Purdue, who's
That's
the same
what they
team.
do.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they do not like. And Virginia's a good shooting 3 team, but if you ask for a fast-paced team that's going to push it
So
on you, not
Virginia's got to keep this game in the 60s.
I just
They
don't-
got to play their game. Keep
Yeah.
it in the 60s. Auburn's going to want to get it in the 80s. They're going to want to get up and down and
Imagine
score.
if it's Virginia versus Texas Tech, the under all day probably.
That would be a
it'll
bloodbath.
It'll be like 50 to 48.
That would be a bloodbath. That wouldn't be fun to watch.
No, it would have been like 12 to 9 I had.
The best game to watch would be Michigan State Auburn.
Yeah, because you got Izzo,
Right.
and you got the hot-headed coach
Yeah.
that's going to be
And both teams are
drenched.
good. Both teams get up. Both teams can score. That
Yeah.
would be good. Let's see.
I'm hoping for that.
Oh,
That'd be
fire
nice.
Coach K.
So I got Auburn
Coach
winning
K should
it.
retire,
You got
too.
Auburn winning it. Who do you
Coach
got?
K retiring. That's why I have it.
Scott's
He's
got
fucking
Virginia
old.
winning it.
Put him
And
in
you got Virginia
Virginia
winning
winning
it.
it.
All right, let's move on.
Move on to week 1 of the MLB. That was the worst
horrible.
rated week 1. I said to him,
They
if you
fucked
look at
up
it,
so bad.
not to look at the standings, Seattle's the best team in the AL, and Milwaukee's the best team in the NL.
I mean, obviously,
It's early.
Oh, yeah.
it's the first week of the year.
Tim
Well,
Beckham's MVP.
It's
yeah.
too early, man. It's
No, but let's talk about this. This is my thing, and I said it to Joe. How bad can you fuck it up that you have the Red Sox, and I know you. I
the Red
agree
Sox
with-
should be out west.
No. I don't. Why would you start them out west?
They just won.
They just won. Put them
Oh,
on
because
TV.
they won?
Put them on TV. I'm not staying up at 10 o'clock at night.
See, so you want them to do what like
The NBA
television?
does.
This television.
Yes. Started off opening week
I don't-
against the
I-
Phillies.
I like
against
it.
against
No.
a World Series contender, not
Do
Seattle.
you know how many games
Seattle's
they could
looks
possibly?
good.
How many games would they have gotten canceled if they started out here? I mean, thinking about how the weather normally is in Boston this time of year, a canceled game, this rain, snow, whatever, man. It used to always be like this. The East Coast teams would start out west because the weather. It's all because of the weather.
It's all,
Stay out there for 2 weeks. By the time they get back, it's the middle, towards the end of April, and then you can just.
Why are
get
they
in your
coming up
schedule.
with all these new rules? Why?
What do you
For
mean?
baseball, speed up the game,
Right.
because it's boring.
To get interest.
to make it more interesting.
Well, they fucked
so
up-
why would you start the season with one of the biggest high-profile teams out west?
The
Why?
reason the ratings were down, and you said it last week,
I
was
see
because
your-
they started on a Thursday, and there was college basketball on a
Yes,
Thursday
that
as well.
doesn't help, but it doesn't help for. I'm an avid baseball fan, and I can't stay up.
It doesn't help that the Red Sox were starting at 10:15.
It doesn't help.
East Coast time.
No college. I mean, maybe college kids, but most kids, it's perfect when it's in July or June. Maybe not for them when you're in summer and you could stay up and you can watch the game. It's for college kids, high school kids, teachers, all that. They could stay up and they could watch it, or even on the weekend put it and stuff. But the NBA does a good job at it. NFL does a good job about it. Opening week, having that matchup. Why wouldn't you have a series? Hey, Boston versus Philly, like I said, or Boston versus Washington.
How about Boston versus New York?
That would have been
We
perfect.
really want to
Right? It
start
would
off.
be perfect, right? How would you not? We would all been sitting there. Hey, guess what? We took your guys' assholes. The first couple of weeks.
It's,
and
it's
then
baseball again, man. They're so close, and then they always,
fuck it
they
up.
always miss.
they do. They fuck it up.
They
miss.
do.
They got
They
the young
do,
kids.
man.
They got the young kids, and nobody knows who's playing who. You're like, the Yankees are playing Detroit.
No, but
Wow,
and the
that's a
Yankees start off against Baltimore.
That's an interesting way to start.
Baltimore
with
has no one.
The Yankees are the
Yankees are starting to have no one, my friend.
yes.
That injured list is just growing by the day.
Yankees are the World Series top
Favorites.
and you open them up against Baltimore. That's who.
I see.
it's
look,
Who does the scheduling?
I see your point, man.
Commissioner's fucking horrible.
When you're talking about ratings, I see your point. Then
This is why
Boston
baseball's
should have been
boring.
on the East
Yes.
Coast to start because of ratings.
ratings, let's make it interesting. Christmas
the
Day
first
for
month.
the NBA.
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
perfect. What are they going to do on July 4th and stuff? Have the Red Sox go to Colorado?
I don't know. We can check.
I'm just saying, like, come on.
Red Sox and Yankees are playing
Give
out
me
in
that
London
job.
this
Give
year.
me the scheduling job. I'll make it perfect for everybody. Everybody will be biting at the bit. I would have the Mets versus Phillies. I'd have Yankees versus Red Sox. I'd have everybody. Phillies versus Washington. That was the best game of the week.
I just
Phillies, Washington.
Bryce going back to Washington.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that was good.
That's good for baseball.
And they
Somebody
did it
got it
early.
right. Congratulations, getting $1 million for that.
Boston's going to be in Toronto July 1st.
Oh, that's
just so
even
you know.
better. Let's go to Canada, where they're already shipped away Kevin Pillar. They're going to get rid of everybody else.
They're going to bring up their prospects this year.
At least they are playing the Yankees soon. A quick little 2-game series coming up.
2-game series.
I know.
Well, they're going
I'm
home
just
this
saying,
week,
you
Tuesday.
We like the 4-game series. You don't like a 2-game series.
I don't even understand what. I think the 2 games like here's a little appetizer, and then I don't get that.
Well, I think it's because they're doing a 2-game because they're doing that 2-game mid-season out in
That's
London.
That is what it is.
so they got to like break
You're
it up
right.
so
Yeah,
that way
right.
they have
You're
the
right.
4 games.
You're
Stupidest thing I've
You're
ever
exactly
fucking
right.
heard. Why are we
It's
going to London?
everybody's moving in London. Teams are playing in
They're trying to
NBA's
grow,
playing
man.
in Paris, like Japan games. They're trying to put the
Well, I mean, look, give them credit for that one. If you're nobody watches baseball in Europe. I know this. Believe me, it's not anything in Europe.
soccer.
Fellow
It's
Greece.
nothing.
Yeah, it is soccer.
They got I mean, it's but
Well,
baseball.
London,
but at
soccer.
least football is it's something. Like baseball is nothing in Europe. Nobody watches it. So I guess if you're trying to promote it, you would bring the Sox and the Yankees there. I mean, I get that, right? I don't know if it's going to work. Hopefully, I don't know.
I mean, Scott makes a good point. March is down where it's going into March Madness is supposed to be March Madness.
Right.
And last year, the championship game was April 2nd, but not the second week in April. You know what I mean? Like, that should be over with. Baseball should start. Like, they're fighting with each other.
I agree with that. Baseball
NBA's down in March. Nobody's playing. Everybody's doing this load management bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's all going into the playoffs from here.
Please explain that to me. You're the NBA guru on this show.
NBA,
can't even watch the NBA
in
right
March
now.
is tough. Unless there's, I mean, the only thing, if you're a fan of the NBA, is that the East isn't finalized yet who's going to make the playoffs. That's
Yes.
it. But those are the bottom teams. You know,
Yes.
like the Orlando,
Get in if I want.
Brooklyn, Miami. They're kind of
Yes.
fighting there to get in. That's about the only thing that has any interest right now because none of the guys are playing. Everyone's kind of locked into where they are, and this happens a lot in March in the NBA. It's tough to watch until the playoffs start.
They fixed it a couple years ago. It wasn't that bad because when they, you had the games, it seemed like the games that mattered were still at the end.
And maybe it broke right.
It broke right.
It might have broke right,
because when
yeah.
I was in high school and in college, all my friends, we would say, hey, man, there's an NBA game. You want to go to the bar or something. Man, you don't watch the NBA until the playoffs.
Right.
That's
True.
the same thing going on right now.
It is. I mean, it loses a lot of luck. And you know what? It's not just
People
it's
think
the
people
fact that everyone knows Golden State's going to win. And that doesn't help either.
and that it's the same
let's
thing
be
you're
honest,
saying
that doesn't
a lot
help.
of people feel about baseball that don't watch baseball. They don't watch until September, October.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're,
Look, the
good
fringe
point.
the fringe NBA fans will watch the playoffs and same thing.
Yeah.
If you're not a big baseball fan, you're probably not starting to tune in until later in the year. That's just the way it is.
No,
But, I mean, I know what you're saying. Let's just go. Let's get there. It's next week, so it's going to start soon.
Well, I said to Joe,
Is
I
it
was
next
like,
week?
The 12th. So the week, like 10 days, whatever.
It's like 10
it is.
days away.
Yeah, whatever.
It just really sucks, man, because if you're a fan and you got tickets or somebody bought you tickets and you go to that game and
Don't buy tickets to March games.
How bad does that sound right there?
Don't do that. That's
as
true.
much as I'm shitting on baseball right now. If you buy a ticket, God knows when. Guarantee you're going to see a good game probably because you'll see most of those players playing unless it's like a doubleheader or something.
Right.
You're gonna if I go to a Red Sox game, maybe Mookie sits, but I still get to see Bogarts.
Right.
I get to see X-Man. I get to see
Right,
somebody that I
right,
want.
right.
Maybe Chris Sale's pitching or something.
You're not
like
going to
that.
have 6 of your best guys
sitting
not
out.
playing. Right.
To go to an NBA game,
You
paying-
don't know,
you're-
man.
You have no clue.
No,
hey,
you
man,
don't.
I got these great tickets at the end of the year. It's the Thunder versus the Celtics. Well, guess what?
None
Paul
of-
George
no
is
one's
sitting.
playing.
Yeah, no, you're right
Jalen
about
Brown's out and Kyrie's out.
It's true, man. I mean, look, this is a problem. This is a problem in the NBA. They've addressed it, and look,
And I'm going to say this.
the great Greg Popovich started this. The resting
what-
players.
That's what I
man.
said.
That's what Joe said.
He started the whole thing.
He started it, but it's turned into he started it where he was actually benching players. Now it's turned into the players telling them
He was sitting
I'm
guys
not
out.
playing. Kyrie, I don't want to play tonight.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Load management. LeBron, I don't need to play tonight.
Yeah.
Like the inmates run the prison.
It's true.
You stole my fucking thing.
No,
but it's the truth. It is the truth. Stern. I mean,
Too much power,
who's the
man.
bald-headed fuck?
Dude, Barkley said it. Barkley said, you got to be careful here because the players.
he's letting them do whatever.
He goes, you go from you want it to be like a relationship with the players and owners and stuff feel
Dapping 'em
together,
up, yep.
and then it gets to the point where it's like, well, now I can
Having
just kind of
wine.
take a day off, and then it gets to the point where you're letting the players run the asylum now.
Because the minute that he tells Kyrie, guess what, Kyrie, we need you to play. Fuck you, man.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna happen.
it's unfortunate. At the it's
the
too
truth.
much.
He's
It's too much.
Let him. He let the leash out way too much, man.
And
You can't do that.
the fans get screwed, and you're right about that. You spend a lot of money to go to those games, and you really don't know
Because we stated
any given game who's going to play.
the past 2 years, you said the NBA's got it, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you give that little inch,
Too much.
man.
I agree with that.
You let the freedom. It started with the whole talking about politics. Voice your opinion.
Drinking wine when you're not
drinking
playing.
wine. No, I'm just saying the little things. They have a voice. They have this. They have that. Guess what? You're a paid athlete to sit
Listen,
there and perform.
having a voice outside of sports, that's
fine.
fine. Now, between the lines is what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Like, when you're between the lines and guys just aren't playing now, that's not good. That
No.
doesn't help the sport.
Well,
It
speaking of
doesn't.
playoffs, they're talking about NHL playoffs start April 10th, and that's an organization that doesn't. They play every night. Star players are playing every night. They're getting ran into walls every night. They play all game. If you want to go buy a ticket to a game, go buy it to a hockey game because you're
Look at
going to
them.
see
most from Canada.
all these players play their ass off every night. They don't sit because they're tired,
Right.
even though they're the hardest, probably one of the hardest sports to
We're,
play.
we're speaking. It's like him speaking Greek to us right now.
Yeah,
we
but he
gotta
knows
get
soccer.
We gotta get
No.
them into this.
Listen, man, I get the NHL, but go ahead.
No, I want to get Yanni and Harry into a room. We'll put
You know how
some
you were
scr-
saying,
We'll put
a
some
lot of
scratch
the
on it.
French fans only watch basketball when the playoffs come
Yes.
around? Same thing with hockey.
No, you're very, very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'll start to when the playoffs are. I'll start
It's
to pay
way
attention to
different,
what's
yeah.
going on in the
yeah,
playoffs.
because-
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
it's sports, man. It's still sport. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And there's a lot of Bruins fans here. With the restaurant, everyone loves the Bruins. So I can see what's going on. Bruins are
Hard-nosed
good.
team.
Bruins,
Yeah, the Bruins are good. See, I know that. I know that they're good.
Capitals are still good.
So who's? You know what? You're on it. So who are the top? Who are the teams?
Bruins. I mean,
got
Ca-
Bruins,
do you know?
Maple Leafs, Lightning versus
Are
the Devils.
Are
Yeah,
the matchups already set in stone?
Capitals versus the Blue Jackets, Penguins versus the Flyers, which is great.
Yeah.
What are
That's
the
a great
seeds? Who's
one.
the one seed? Who's the one seed in
Bruins
the
are
East?
one seed.
Bruins are 1 seed.
Bruins are the one seed in the East. Who's the two? Go right down the line.
All right, hold on a sec.
Come on, you got to get on this quick.
Well,
You guys want to talk about hockey, man? Be prepared.
He's.
I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing
right
here?
now.
You said hockey. Nobody knows.
Washington versus Montreal.
Washington's the 2 seed.
Yes.
Okay.
The wild cards. Oh, hold on. I'm in the
Wild
wrong
cards.
one.
What?
Yeah, I'm all over the place now. Got me confused.
How am I confused? Someone.
I can't even find out anything.
ESPN doesn't even have it. They're
Where's
like,
hockey?
have you ever seen the highlights on there? It's
Tampa
so quick.
Bay's the 1 seed in
It's
the
not even
Atlantic
part of
Division.
I can't.
The thing, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. It's the hidden. Oh, you got to hit the 3 buttons to get there. Yeah.
I'm wrong. So it's Tampa's the 1 seed. It's Boston, Toronto. Boston's the 2 seed playing Toronto. Calgary's the 1 seed. San Jose, Vegas, 2 seed.
Here you go. And out west, you got Washington. Out west, you got Winnipeg, Nashville. I don't know. Talk to me, man.
You got Nashville versus Colorado. You got Winnipeg versus Minnesota. You got the Golden Knights versus the Kings. You got the Ducks versus San Jose.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just watch every game. Don't even look into it any further than that. Any
watch
game that's on,
every
watch
game.
them.
Listen, man.
Every game that's on for hockey, start watching. Because at
That's
this moment, you're going into, like
Well,
you said,
here's the problem.
NBA's
A lot of the NBA and NHL will be on at the same time.
when's the NBA playoffs start?
They all
Pretty
start
much
around
the
the same
same
time.
time. Same time?
They're always on around the same
Yeah.
time.
All right.
So I'll try to watch both.
You can try and watch both. You have 2 TVs.
Then
I'll
you got
pay
the
attention.
Masters.
I'll pay attention to the Bruins. I'll definitely do that. And
It's good for business.
The Islanders got in, right? It's a New York team. I'll pay
Yeah.
attention to them.
It's good for business, man.
Yeah, no, I know it is. Everyone loves the Bruins.
Yeah,
Everyone loves the Bruins.
It's a lot like the World Cup when we were watching and stuff. I don't watch any. When the World Cup started, we all came down here. We watched it and stuff. One
France.
goal is going crazy and stuff. Hockey is kind of like that, especially in the playoffs.
It's actually pretty cool. Speaking about World Cup and soccer, International Champions League is actually coming to America this year, and I think they have one game is going to be at Gillette. Just
really?
Yeah. Just a side note, but yeah.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
in
that's really
July.
cool.
Yeah. So I mean,
We
if
should go.
if we removed ourselves, speaking of sports, if we removed ourselves from sports, we would kind of be like our fourth man who's missing tonight.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
out in the wilderness. He does not know what's
He's at
going on.
Yosemite, man. I
saw the
he
free
FaceTimed
solo.
with me. These guys were sitting on top of a fucking mountain.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Who?
And just like hanging their legs off. I couldn't even watch it. I'm like, dude, stop.
He FaceTimed you while he was on?
Yeah, he's on top of a freaking and they were showing the camera. Like, look, I'm like, dude, please don't fall
Getting the
off.
jitters right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was because I had the kids were watching. Like, where are you? And he's just like on top of this fucking. I don't know. He's out there, man. Yosemite.
He's living in a van.
He's living in a van.
It's so impressive.
Yeah.
Could you do that? 10 days in? Was it 10
No,
days?
look,
Wait,
I don't
how
know.
many days are they in?
I don't know. I don't know if they're
I think
staying
he's
there the
staying-
whole time
when
and
did
they're
he
going
leave?
somewhere
Tuesday?
else. They might
How
be
long
Tuesday
could-
to Tuesday.
How long could you stay in a van? That's the true question. What kind of a van is it? Is it like
Looks
the
like a
60s,
minivan.
like Peace Man van, or
Almost
is
looks
it,
like a minivan
or
or like
like
an
one of those-
SUV.
Is that what it is?
I
didn't
don't
see
know.
it. I didn't see
I
it.
saw the video of
I'm
him
picturing.
inside.
I'm picturing the old school, like the Bug van.
No, I don't
No,
think
I don't
so.
think it's that.
You can't
Jeez.
rent a bug van. You probably rented like one of those box
Woodstock,
Hondas
man.
that you just like roll down the seats.
Yeah, man, I couldn't. No way.
With how
No
many
way.
people?
I think it's just
It's
him
just
and
him
her.
and Megan, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's still
You know
That's-
what?
listen,
If they can make it through this, man,
to
they
each
might
his
as well
own,
get
man.
married.
To each his own. Like everyone has their. I couldn't do it. It'd be tough to sleep like that. Like, sleep in a
Where's
van,
the
having-
worst place you've ever slept that you could think of?
Oh, I know mine.
You better go because I'm struggling
Sleeping-
on this. I got a
sleeping
couple
on
places.
Sleeping on the beach, man. That's the worst.
That's the worst.
At nighttime, like Block Island beaches when I used to. Ugh, those are the
Oh,
worst.
you go out for like
Oh, I-
4th of
You
July.
either get thrown out of your hotel, nowhere to stay. Have you ever slept on the fucking beach at nighttime with all the bugs and shit like crawling all over you?
Yeah.
And the little beetles all up in your face, and not having like the right stuff, like a tent, just on the sand. No
Man,
good.
Block Island, that was a great way to go right into mine, man. Like, yeah.
That's many times. And when I was younger, it was like whatever. And you wake up in the morning, now it's hot, like it's freezing out.
Oh, the
and then
sun
and then
is
it's
beating
hot, so
down.
you're digging out of the sand. It just sucks.
You ever wake up? You ever wake up when your windows are closed and it turns into a hot night and you're like, you got that throat.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine that sleeping on the beach.
Yeah, really, really cold and really, really hot.
Hot.
Like,
It's-
that's me though.
I can't
but
believe
I'm not
you-
very adventurous.
You've never
but that
slept
would
on a
be me.
beach. You seem like a man
I
that
fell asleep on a beach. I don't think I've.
that would have got kicked out of a bar. And,
Like slept through the evening and woke up in the morning. You done that?
I mean, he's fell.
Yeah.
The worst place Joe's ever slept, I think, was on about last year around Valentine's Day when he fell asleep right on the.
Yeah, but
the
I wasn't
table.
sleeping.
You know, he
That's
was-
different.
It was past
Passed out. I don't even remember that, so it doesn't count.
That's a good.
It's
sleep.
when you wake up and like I've slept in cars. That's horrible.
I've done that.
I mean, last year I think a couple times, maybe not last year, a couple years ago, I fell asleep in my truck, like curled up in the back, or
yeah, that's tough.
or like when I went down to South Carolina for the bachelor party. I slept on like a wicker chair, and like you fall asleep
Yeah.
drunk and you're fine, and then you wake up and you're like, oh,
Everything's
over
yeah,
your
man.
back and shit,
Yeah,
and you're
man.
like, oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, man.
When you wake up and you can't even function or move, and you're like, how did I end up here? Or,
I can't do that anymore.
I think
I
the
need
worst
beds now.
worst
Beds.
sleep I ever had was on the Hannah Story when we went to Block Island and stuff. So we didn't have
So you and
just
Block
slept in a
Island.
chair.
we were in Block Island, so they have like the little bunks down below. So we were all drinking. So everything has to do with drinking when you're sleeping bad.
Yeah.
Unless you're Yanni, you're
you
in a
just
van.
choose
Totally
to sleep
choose
bad.
to. So anyway, so they had the bunks downstairs, and I remember I was like, "This is it." The bunks are pretty much they're about. I'm 6'2". The bunks maybe 4 feet. So I get into the bunk. I'm in the
See?
fetal. I'm in the fetal position. And then Kendall comes in eating fucking Doritos. Doritos are all over the place. Then Austin, her little cousin, who was like 9 at the time, ended up sleeping next to me. I remember waking up, stretching out my back, and I just laid out on like the
deck.
The deck, which smelled like fucking fish the whole time. So that was definitely the worst sleep I ever had, because I just woke up and I started drinking. I'm like, this can't be my life right now. And I'm waking up in fish guts and stuff, and just
That's bad.
yeah. And
see, it's
talk
always,
about the
it always
flies
starts
and-
with drinking.
Yeah, drinking is not good.
And you don't normally choose to like sleep in these weird
Nah,
scenarios.
you just run out of options. Or
and
it's
it's
just
always
where
like
you are.
waking up and your neck's all fucking crinked up and your back's tight. Ugh. You can't. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
No?
Well, hopefully, Yanni, I don't know how long they're going to be in that van. I don't know if it's a few days and they're going somewhere else. I have no idea.
I think they're traveling around. I mean, I don't know. Are they going
I
into
don't
the
know.
city or are they just staying out in the wilderness?
I hope he made it off that cliff.
We did not. He said he was going to call in and talk to us, but we did not get a call in. So
He definitely doesn't have service. I figured like this was like one of those exhibitions that they burn the cell phones before they go out there. Like they just put it in the thing. There's no cell phones allowed here. This is
No,
over
he
with.
got. I mean, he called.
Yeah.
So he must have had service at that point.
and they're really camping then. Well, I mean, sleeping in a van, but they're like tent camping or.
I didn't get into too much.
We've already gone into this with vacations and stuff. We're all very similar. Nice place, nice hotel.
I love hotels.
Nice bed. Yeah, we already done the hotel
Yeah,
thing.
I
Like,
know.
I'm just saying, like, a vacation in Yanni is different. It's more about adventure and,
Yeah,
going
that's
out.
what he likes, man.
he's kind of like the movie that I just watched, which I recommend, is the Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, you should know the name of the movie
I
if
should
you're
know
gonna.
the name.
If you're,
You're
which
right.
I
I'm gonna-
recommend.
I recommend.
this,
I
Don't know the
this-
name.
This one movie that
It's a Bonnie and Clyde thing. It's
Bonnie
good.
and Clyde. Kevin Costner from Field of Dreams. He's in it, and Woody.
the
Harrelson.
Highwaymen. They're
White men
chasing.
can't jump.
They're chasing Bonnie and Clyde.
Put the socks game on if you want.
Oh yeah, the socks are on. It's 10 o'clock.
10
at
o'clock.
night.
We can
Yeah.
watch the sock. The
First
Highwaymen.
I've watched
I said
2
this
games.
We'll end it with this. I said to Scott, that's interesting that, the Highwaymen, Netflix, almost every couple weeks, they came out with The Dirt, then they came out with this. This week they came out with some movie called, like, The Silence on Wednesday.
What, Netflix you're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's every week they're pumping out movies with decent actors, too.
Oh, yeah, man. A lot of...
Like,
Netflix is a
why
big
even
place.
pay to go to the movies or wait until it comes out on
I have
Netflix?
movie tickets.
Yeah,
Still haven't
Netflix
used
is... Netflix owns shit right now. Netflix, and then, obviously, HBO coming up with quite possibly the biggest season finale of a television
Game of
show
Thrones, you're
of
not
all
caught up?
time.
I'm gonna ruin it for you guys, dude. It's taking me a while to catch up on this. I feel like
You haven't... what?
I feel like
Ah.
I feel like I'm the kid that's just not into it, but I'm supposed to. It's just not happening for me, man. It's not happening for me. Game of Thrones,
not
like, I'm
sure.
like,
I don't even know why we're...
Dragons.
not sure
this.
if we can be
That's fine,
friends.
man.
I
It
don't
seems
know.
like I'm all against America right now. Because everybody, you put up the thing on Facebook about Vegas.
It
how
went
they-
nuts. Well, that was cool. Did you
you
see
the
that?
water show?
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
awesome.
God.
Yeah, man.
Well, the music. I
Where
mean,
are
it's-
you?
I'm trying. I'm like
You're
sitting
not.
there. It's
No,
like that.
you're
It's like
not.
that hot girl that everybody's at the bar like, dude, she's so fucking high, and you're like sitting there like, but yeah, man, she's hot.
Let
Even
me ask
though you don't
wh-
think she is.
Where are you?
Where am I? I'm
He's
in
on season 2.
Three, halfway through.
I'm jealous of him.
Why? Because I wish
would
I was at
would
that
love
point.
to
Me
be
too.
At season 3 and not know any of the stuff
Yeah.
that's coming up. I would love to. I would love that.
Did you see the other night? Who's the girl? She went
Might as
on
well ruin it
Jimmy
for me.
Fallon.
Oh, they're all on TV right
And
now.
it was April Fool's, and she was like, "Oh, and I die in the second episode," and she was like, "Oh, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry." And she like walked off stage and then came back on, and she was like, "April Fool's."
because they have a very strict,
Aria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was her. I don't
They have
know.
a
We're-
very strict thing. They're all on TV right now. They're all doing talk shows and shit. They cannot talk about anything. Like if there's all kinds.
They
of
have
shit.
a
Yeah.
exploding script. Like they like read the script and it like disintegrates afterwards. So I
Bullshit.
swear to God. Well, I mean, I don't think it's on paper, but it's probably like on a pad. It just goes
Gone.
away because they can't talk about it. Like
They also have a pill under their tongue so they could fucking kill themselves if they fuck
I
up,
think
right?
everybody dies.
I don't know. I don't care. I just can't wait.
I'll catch up. It took me forever. It takes me a while and stuff. Joe knows
Dude,
this.
just forget it, man. Just forget it.
He does. See, Scott's one of these guys. He
got
doesn't
less-
like the
I
hype.
rebel.
got
Yeah,
less-
I
If
don't
someone
like the
if
hype.
someone told him, "Yo, you have to watch
I
this
can't, I
movie.
won't do it.
It's so good,"
I
and this
won't
and
do
that,
it.
and then it'll take him 2 years, and he'll be like, I remember him being like, "Pineapple Express is pretty funny." He was like, "But if your buddy didn't throw it down my throat, I would have liked it
That
from
is
the
true,
beginning."
man. I hate stuff.
So
being
you're
thrown
one of
down my
those
throat.
guys. Yeah, I
hate it.
get it. I hear it.
Dude, I rebel the minute. I'll give Yanni credit, man. He thrown a couple films at my way and stuff, and I like both of them. It was the what is it?
The
Mountain movie.
which was called.
That's how good it was.
Free Solo.
Free Solo.
Jesus Christ.
I have a TBI.
dude, I swear to God, my mind's gone. But if
Game of Thrones confuses you. That's what happens.
Yeah, you know
get
how
very
awesome
confused.
it is when
And
you watch
is
it again.
confusing. It is. When you watch it the second time,
It's
though,
it's
clear
you
as
understand it.
It's
I'm
clear
like,
as
oh
day.
man, I'm smart.
day. No, the first it is
It's like
very
the
good.
movie Inception. I had to watch it 6 times until
You
I
fell
actually
asleep
got
every
it.
time.
Every time, I'm like, wow, this movie's a great nap movie. And
See,
then
he
I
has
got
to
it.
get on a run with it.
I
Yeah.
do.
You can't watch 2 episodes and
No,
not watch anything
I need
for
like
a
10.
month.
I need 10.
We didn't have any
You
snow
gotta
this
go on
winter.
you gotta go.
We
on
needed
a
like
run.
a
snow.
snowstorm
Especially
where
on season 3. That's
Especially,
like
dude, I'm nuts.
you
I
got to
need-
go on a run on season 3
I
because
need
it'll
to have
take
surgery.
it'll
some type
take
of
you to
surgery.
an amazing moment.
we can do that. We can
I
make
need
that
some
happen.
type of surgery, like knee surgery. I
You
almost,
just
I
blow
almost
your knee
blew
out
out
tonight.
my knee like running today, and I thought about it. I was like, man, if I blew that out,
You could
I'd
totally
become
catch
so
up.
fat.
I could
And then
I could watch Game
And
of
you could
Thrones.
totally catch up.
Oh
on
yeah,
Game of
totally
Thrones.
catch up. I really pictured it. I was like, I'll have like just pudding with Cool Whip on it, and I'll just eat it nonstop, and I'll
And just
watch
keep
shows.
watching, yeah.
Keep watching shows. Cool Whip, eat it. Yep, let's
Cool
go.
Whip and pudding.
Yeah, pudding skin singles.
See, he just everything goes back to Seinfeld. The last thing that I'm going to bring up. Did you see this? Did you see? Now you were in the business. You sell alcohol at your, at Angie's. Did you see that? Did you see that the commercials?
Hey Harry, you don't just run a successful.
I'm saying
business.
you
here.
run
sell
you
alcohol.
run a pizza place and you sell
alcohol.
Did you see Heineken came up with a beer
What?
that's
fuck?
zero alcohol in it?
Yes, that's been out for a while
yeah,
now.
the-
And they're doing the commercials that are like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guys drinking in the office.
I'm gonna
Imagine Scott walking into like the office at lunch with a 6-pack and people been like, oh, and he's drinking and they'll be like, Scott, are you drinking? No,
Not alcoholic.
it's not alcoholic.
Actually, let's give
It's zero
Let's give
alcohol.
out a shout out to my boy Toe that I went to college with.
Why, he came up with that?
No, Mike Loudon. He works for Heineken. He's like the head distributor.
Mike Loudon.
Yeah. He did a commercial for him. He was at the gym, like working out and stuff, and he just cracked a beer and started drinking it, and then it went viral.
Really?
So yeah, it's been out for a while. It's been over like probably a month or 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Congrats, Mike Loudon. Good catch.
Harry's just distributing alcohol.
No, I meant the
You work
reason.
for F&F distributors? Or
I did not mean it that
bootlegger
way.
over here.
I did not mean it that
Al
way.
Capone.
God,
know,
I
dude.
meant it
I
like you see the stuff that comes in. I was like, I don't know how this is something they're branding. Like,
Listen, there's
imagine
people-
walking into your school, like Kendall
There's
working
a-
in the school, and she walks
Listen,
in with her
there's a-
6-pack, and people are like,
There's
Kendall,
a
are you drinking? And she's like, no.
there's a market for non-alcoholic beer. There is.
It's huge, Joe.
Pe-
But
there-
people like just the taste.
there's people that don't drink, but still like, they don't drink alcohol, but they like the taste of beer.
What's the point?
That's the best part of the end
Just-
of Wolf of Wall Street, where he's sitting there having
Yeah, the
non-alcoholic beer, and
Yeah.
he goes, "Wait, if you drink 20 of them, do you get fucked up?" And he goes, "No,
No.
it's non-alcoholic." People
what's the
don't get
point?
it. Look at E-Man, dude, at the bar, man. That's all he does.
It's just
Go
to
do
have
it.
something.
It's
In
to
your
have
hand.
something. It's
Yeah, it's a beer. It tastes kind of like a beer. It's more like water.
A lot of former alcoholics, when they go to a bar, they'll
Yeah.
order just like a Sprite.
So I get
So
it. It
looks
makes
like
sense for Heineken because there's not a lot of good. If it tastes
But you
good,
can drink that at your work, they're saying. So, like, if I had a job.
when I
could
saw
bring-
that commercial, I'm like, this is just going to open up. Like
Up, yeah.
everyone's going to
You
be
have
walking
kids,
around drinking
yeah.
non-alcoholic Heinekens. The commercial was like, oh boy.
If I was
when I
16,
did work and I hated my boss, I would do that. Just
Joe,
to,
if
like,
you were in
piss him
high
off.
school
Be like,
right
it's an
now,
NA.
I
but-
would have it at the table and been like, Joe, you drinking? Been like, nah.
Joe, if you were in high school, you wouldn't have done that in the cafeteria.
Oh, hell yeah.
See, he would have done it in a
Oh,
heartbeat.
who wouldn't have?
He would be the only kid in Ledger I know right now.
Yeah, I would.
You would have been firing him down.
Yeah, firing
he
him
would
down.
have fired. He would have put the 6-pack down. I could see.
Can
it
you
right now.
purchase them if you're not?
He
See, that I
snorted
don't think.
pixie sticks like
I
it
don't
was
think
cocaine.
you can. I don't think you can. I think you still have to be 21 to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Because it's a Heineken. I don't know, man.
Joe, it's like why you can't buy an
There's
e-cigarette when you're fucking 6 years
yeah,
old.
There's non-alcoholic beers out there. There's a few of them. I carry them. You gotta have it.
Yeah, but they have a little bit of alcohol. This has none.
No, I think they don't have any.
I think they have a tiny bit.
No, they're non-alcoholic.
No, check.
Imagine Joe being a bartender. Hey, man, can I get O'Doul's? So, used to have a problem. Why don't you just hand it over?
Oh, you're an O'Doul's guy. You're fucking nuts, huh?
You can't handle your booze, can you? You beat your wife or something? What happened?
We
there?
got a wild
What's the
one in
story? Hey, right here, he's trying to act like
You ever seen the
Queen's
King
fine.
of Queens? Where he's like, yeah, I'll just have a non-alcoholic. He's like, we do actually offer a lot of other. You know, it's my first day in the job. I can make you other drinks.
Great
And he's like, yeah, just what was
Come
your
on,
what
guy.
was your drinking choice? You know, come on, guy. And he's like, Scotch on the rocks. And then he's like sitting there and he's back on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he goes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is a great episode. Yep.
All right, House Rules,
Well,
April
there-
3rd, Wednesday, without Yanni.
So-
We hope he makes it back from his trip, and we can have him next week.
We can have him.
People that listen and watched on YouTube Live or on Instagram, please go and download Anchor.fm. Follow us on, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify. Listen to the episode when we edit it tomorrow. It's completely different than watching us live.
Yes. Live, we suck.
No, that's not true. All right, House Rules,
Thanks.
out.